So you'll come in. They ready? I will call the meeting to order. Stand for pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Right. The budget meeting for October 13th, 2021. Suppose we will start with Kelly.
Yeah.
We're here early.
Yeah.
It's your lucky day. She says, let me see first. We'll go through the budget first. All right, well, we start with, what would you like to start with, Kel?
Cemetery, please.
Cemetery, all right.
Just happened to be on that page.
Good.
Okay. Would you like to tell us anything?
In the cemetery budget, there is an increase of 1.75% as presented. There is a recommendation for a new position. And with that position, it would be 17.35% increase for this budget. There is, in the last pages of this budget is the proposed new addition. So if you wanted to just look at the budget as is, as it was last year, it's here and it's presented. The last page or last two pages would be with the additions. So we can do that at the end if you'd like. The seasonal person was removed, the seasonal laborer was removed, and it was changed to a full-time laborer with the recommendation.
So what do we, you want to add another one?
Well, we have a sexton
Right.
who's full-time, and he goes over to grounds and maintenance November through about February, March timeframe. And his wage is different there. And we had a seasonal laborer that actually this year we weren't able to hire anyone. So the recommendation was to change that seasonal laborer to a full-time and to mirror that
He
same
would move over
example
The winner.
to the grounds and maintenance in the winter time. There is also in the proposal with the sexton's wage, I wanted to ask if it would be appropriate to take the secretary stipend that's under part-time wages, because that position is currently vacant, and the work that was originally being done or supposed to being done by this position wasn't as fully done as we needed, and the sexton has been doing that work. And so if that
So he's going to continue doing it.
I think that he should receive that
Stipend.
stipend that the secretary was getting, because the secretary is getting paid a hourly wage anyway. And this was on top of that, which I don't think is necessary. It's in that job description to do that work, and this was like an extra amount of money. So I think that
I think
the
that's fair if
sexton
he's
should be
doing the
getting that
job.
money. So that wasn't presented in this way, but I can give you the figures for that. We would just move the $3,462.08 and just move it into the wages for full-time.
Mr. Chairman. Let's go over this block again.
Yeah. You want a key? Want a key?
Shannon will go.
Oh, yeah, to me, I think that's fair if he's doing the job anyways. I mean, that's only fair.
I think that he's doing more than his job.
Oh,
Yeah.
to stay up with what he's done this year, I think he's done tremendous.
And we have 3 burials this week. So it's like the grass needs to be mowed, yes, but the burial that's the priority. And he's doing that all by himself.
Yeah. I
So
mean,
does that reflect the wages full-time for 48,000?
for,
Is that what you're referring to for the
no,
add-on to your budget?
no, I'm not. So this would be an additional, we would just move it from part-time and put it into full-time.
Okay, and you're talking about in your budget.
Yes, in either budget you
I'm on
choose.
the annual budget justification, but it's proposed changes.
So for the proposed changes,
$48,764.
right, we would want to add that stipend
I
into
have
that.
27,000.
Well, Mr. Larachel's on the one that's in the very back.
That you mentioned
The last
earlier.
2 pages of the budget is the proposed.
Oh, here we go. All right.
It's the
Now I'm
proposed
with
budget. So what you were describing is not involving this at that time. This
That would
time.
be an additional,
That would be additional to your budget.
but the money's already in the budget. It's just in a secretary
Okay,
You're just
designation. We
moving
would just
money around
move
the
it,
budget.
so it wouldn't be increased.
okay,
that
so it'd
amount.
still be in that number of the
Right, it would move
original
from
budget.
part-time wages to full-time wages.
Got it.
Yeah, you're gonna put a full-time on, you're still gonna get a part-time.
Well, we're talking about
Try.
2 different things. We're in the original budget. We have a part-time person. If
Mhm.
it is my recommendation to hire a full-time person. So if you went with the full-time recommendation,
Get rid of
there
that.
would be no seasonal laborer.
Okay,
Yeah, so that pays half their salary anyways.
It does.
And I agree, because we can move them over the snow and sidewalks.
yes,
Yep.
yeah, that's just what we need.
Yeah. Kelly, have we thought about setting something up with the school? Or like, get the seniors and set up even an intern or something that we pay them through the summer and then give them a grant for college at the end, whether it's $1,000 or $1,500.
We haven't discussed
You know,
that.
or
There
set
is,
something up that we could get part-timers out of the high school
right,
for the summer.
that is where we are looking to get our,
Yeah,
so I have a relationship with someone that works at the school.
Good.
And they actually go out and ask people to work here. They do have
just-
to be 18 years old, so that is a little bit of a problem because not everyone is 18 at graduation.
Mhm.
Most are, but
we could
that's,
set up something, even if we give them some type of grant at the end, if they work all summer for us
right,
towards this college or whatever. You know, maybe that'll draw some of these
Incentive.
kids
Right.
over,
Incentive to get them to.
you know, they get book money or,
right,
because that would help us, even if they leave the second week of August, mowing's down then. And a lot of
Yes.
the work's down a little bit. So we could use them until they left in August for college.
no, that's a good
Bonus them at the
idea
end of
to
the year
offer,
or something for college,
right?
you know, set something up.
And we were fortunate, we did have a returning staff member that was a high school graduate and they came back for 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were able to,
It works.
Yeah.
it is, and that's
'Cause
where
they
we're
can come and
looking
work.
for,
When they were out of college, they can come back, work.
right, in the summer.
I'm just wondering if it's worth
Yeah.
either doing a warrant article or whatever and set up a account where we could bonus them at the end of the year for working for us all year, to give them book money or college money or whatever.
Right,
You know, like you said, if he's coming back and we get 2, 3 years out of him, it's worth helping them with the college and we get the labor out of it.
right. And that's something that could be put into staff recruitment. We did have that in the lifeguards. The previous year, we didn't use it because we didn't have lifeguards,
Right,
but that is something that we can call a stipend for returning staff,
I'm just hoping it'll draw some kids in that will work for us, that,
right?
so we're not skimping with no help.
Right, but if we do that scenario, then we wouldn't be doing the full-time person because it's either or.
Well, you can still use them through the summer on grounds and maintenance and
Right, it could
Of
be
course,
applied in that
you know.
position because we do have a seasonal person in grounds and
that's what I mean.
maintenance.
If we set up some type of warrant article with a kitty that at the end of the year, we can bonus them out of.
Right,
And use them for grounds and maintenance and mowing and wherever you need them.
Yep,
'Cause I
no,
know
that's
you
a good-
need the help.
Then hopefully they stay on. But as time goes on, they would
Right.
actually
Back
stay
or-
on or come back.
I
You know,
think it
whether
would
you
save
use 'em as
money.
Lifeguards,
It does save money in the long run because you don't have to retrain people and
that's right.
they
Yeah.
can work independently.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good suggestion.
Yeah, I agree with putting the sexton up. I don't know how the rest of the board feels.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sounds good.
I mean, he's
Yep.
doing the job. He should get paid for it.
well, he should,
Instead of
yes.
paying somebody else. Now, what was the board's position on full-time?
There's a sheet in the budget, excuse me, that does show what the current is versus the proposed new and the additional cost to the cemetery budget. And then further down, it lists the grounds and maintenance budget and then the total budget increase.
Hang on, what sheet you on?
Sorry, the page that was before this on the backside. So it should be at the very end, 2 pages before that.
Cemetery budget,
Yes,
Oh, yeah, here it is.
current and proposed,
yes.
and you got it crossed out on 2022.
Well, that's ground
Release.
maintenance.
Grounds and maintenance, yeah. Okay.
Cemetery budget. $10,000, which is very minor. I think.
So it would be $10,798 to the cemetery budget and $9,112 to the grounds and maintenance for a total of $19,910. And those figures may be somewhat inaccurate as far as when the start date is of that position, if
Well, let
that's
me
going to
ask
be
you something.
April 1st.
You think you're gonna hire somebody for 19,000 a year?
That's the increase to the budget.
Oh, okay.
Additional
Okay.
cost.
Right.
Additional
Okay,
cost. of
yeah.
maintenance budget.
Which to me is pretty minor for getting help.
Yeah, cemetery budget, 10,798 and grounds and maintenance, 9,112,
Yeah,
combined 19,910.
it's minor increase to get the help we,
And just to answer your question about the wage, it is $15.46 an hour. After probation, it's $15.71. So if the town does decide that those wages need to be increased, this would probably be eligible for that increase.
I think you're gonna have a hard time hiring somebody for that.
It is a difficult job too. It's manual
labor
labor.
intense.
It's labor intensive. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with it. Try it.
Yeah.
I think so.
I mean, to me, that's a minor increase if we can get the
Right.
help. I would like to see us add a couple more down there. You know, one
Yes,
on
Eventually.
cemetery and a couple down on grounds and maintenance. I mean, there ain't enough work.
no, there's plenty of work,
Plenty of
There's-
work to do. It's just a matter of getting these people to
right?
come forward and apply for these jobs.
Right.
Which is up for another discussion. Is what the rates or whatever we gotta do to try to draw people in. So let's see, that would be. So overall cemetery budget would be the 70,000. 70,000.
So on that cover BMSI sheet, it does show what the proposed, there's a column for what the proposed total would be. So it would be the
BMSI sheet.
$81,223.
Be what?
$81,223.
223.
Yes. With the new position,
With the 10.
That's the increase. in it.
10,798, right?
correct. And just a reminder that that secretary stipend was already in there, so that's
Right.
just moving to a different line.
Okay,
Yeah, I got no issue with that.
I don't.
I have.
Even a
I
little
make a
bit.
motion that we approve cemetery budget at the 81,223.
I'll second.
223?
81,223.
23.
Okay, it's the same thing I had.
Yep.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Now
Grounds and maintenance.
which one you going to next?
Grounds and maintenance.
Grounds and maintenance, all right.
So the budget as presented without that new increase is 1.8% less than last year. And the reason for that is we did have COVID expenses in that budget last year that are not in this budget, like cleaning and supplies. And the increase to this budget,
Let me ask you this.
Sure.
You don't think we're gonna clean enough this year? or-
well, we had additional cleaning
Right,
supplies.
And I understand that.
Right.
Okay.
So the cost with the recommended change with the new position is 1.67%. So that is a minor impact as well.
Mhm.
It's up 1.6.
Down.
It would be up 1.67 with that new position
With the new position.
Oh,
affecting this budget. Because there are some weeks that the person works in this budget.
it's still minor.
So the total would still be 256, 375?
So just like in the cemetery budget on the BMSI sheet, there was a column that was,
Okay.
it does have a total of 265,
265.
comma 487.
487.
487.
Oh.
We're gonna add,
Well, that's what I want to ask the
we
board.
probably ought to,
Do we want to add a labor and
I think
get her
so,
the help? You know, Liz had a good idea. One this year, maybe one next year to get the help we need down there.
Yeah.
To start these programs of being able to do the maintenance on the buildings and.
yeah. There's absolutely no doubt that she can use the help, so.
Oh, yeah.
We either do one or
I've
we,
said it for
or we
years.
bite the bullet and do it and be done with it.
I've said it for years. She needs help down there. I mean, that department is
For
a
one.
busy department.
Yeah, yeah,
There's a lot to do.
a lot of work to do.
Between
There wa-
concerts and cleaning and setting up the bay and
Not to mention when something happens.
never mind that all the town buildings are cleaning and trash and.
There was conversation about a solid waste center attendant coming to this department in the off season for solid waste.
Yeah, but that would be off season.
Right,
You know, I mean, I want to see somebody that you can have year round that is
Okay.
there through the summer and stuff to.
right. We do have a
Because
seasonal,
hopefully we get some type of
Mhm.
crew built that can do the maintenance on the buildings.
Right.
You know, power wash the walkways down there and seal them
Has to be done.
and do some of this maintenance and still get your jobs done that you need to get done.
right,
And that's the whole idea of trying to add a little bit of help each year to you to
right.
get you the people you need.
Have at least 3 to 4.
And it would be important to cross-train people so that when someone is out or on
Right.
vacation, that someone else knows how to do those
Yeah.
jobs.
I mean, I know I've been trying to put people on your payroll for a few
Right.
years and we get almost there and then it gets cut, but I would
Right.
like to try again this year, maybe put one in here to start the ball rolling, to get more people down there to be able to do this stuff.
Start
I'd
getting
rather
these
see
things
it done in-house than to have to keep farming it out.
Right,
I think in order to do that though, Virgil, we're gonna have to give some time to get all the numbers together. You're gonna have to have insurance, you're gonna have to have all that
Right.
stuff in. That's not something we can figure out right here at the table, I don't think.
No.
No,
Well, like Kelly said, they have to be 18.
They have to be 18.
Yeah, of
So
course.
you got a limited core
well, yeah, but
in
that's,
in the high school.
Mhm.
But we also have a group of people in town that are going to college.
Yeah.
Graduates of the high school,
Mhm.
high school.
Right, but this is for the full-time position, Bob, not just.
Not just
I'm talking
part-time.
about the part-time.
This is for full
There's
time.
summer help.
That I think we have covered. It's
Yeah.
the full-time help
This
that we're
is
looking to
adding a
add on
position
to
in
the,
here.
to the team to be able to get some of these things done.
But the full-time help, are you fully manned right now?
no, we're down a maintenance person.
You're down one person.
We're down one person
How long have you been down at one person?
since they left, which was the end of May,
Hey,
June.
see, you know, we're talking about adding, but
and we can't,
we can't fill the position we have open now.
but that's when we have to set with that,
So,
hiring the minimum maximum wage. And we've got to sit and have a discussion on it and start setting it up so we can get people.
okay, that's where I'm coming from.
Mhm.
Yeah, no,
And,
No, we're not ready to
That's
do it
coming up.
now, but
but the issue is, help is hard to get.
but we gotta at least be competitive with Dunkin' Donuts if we're gonna get anybody.
at least we can try.
But what I want to do is have it
Bring
in
up the
this
wage.
budget. So when we do set the minimum, maximum, whatever, by spring, she's ready to go and add that position. Because if we don't put it in the budget, then we're going off another year and she ain't got the help again.
No,
Right.
no,
No.
I agree.
And everything
I
falls
agree.
further and further and then.
Falls
you're-
further behind.
Right. That's
and
why
it's
I would
harder
like
for
to,
her to try to keep up with everything when you ain't got no help to.
right, and that's why I'd
It's-
like to get it in her
it's quite
budget
a-
this now.
There's quite a few projects that in the rears now
Oh.
that need to be done. And,
She's got her hands full.
and so it's,
But if we can't, we have to address that issue
Mhm.
Yes.
because there's no sense in putting another position in if you can't hire help.
Well,
I got no problem with putting it in there.
right.
yeah, because if we don't put it in, then
But
we're
we
going
have to
next year.
I'm
address
not
the
gonna get
issue
anything.
of being able to hire help. What are we gonna do? I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. But,
Just keep trying, but I'd rather
and I
have,
don't think $2 an hour is gonna make a big difference. Maybe it will, but,
It
oh,
might.
but if we
It
put it
might.
in here, hopefully we'll get lucky and we'll get the people
well,
and she's ready to go with
Yeah.
with the help.
I think we have to do townwide, we have to do some ingenuity in hiring. And we have a tremendous benefit package, no matter what anybody says.
Yeah, the problem you
We
got
do.
is you got a lot of the private sector offering almost the same benefit packages.
Well,
with
That's not
way
so
more
much,
Not
that's not
always.
the problem. The problem is the group that you're targeting at this pay scale are the kids that don't give a crap whether they got like health insurance or not.
well,
They're not getting sick. They don't, you're not hiring 45-year-old guys to go out and shovel snow.
The problem is that we have a shortage all around.
It's, yeah.
All
it's
around
not
in
just
every
here.
department, and it's not just the town, it's the private sector as well, no matter where you go. So, yeah, we need to try.
Well, let
We
me
need to
ask,
try to put it out there so that we can get, try to get someone.
let me ask the board this. Are you willing to look at this budget? Prove it or cut it, whatever you want to do tonight, and then she can send back paperwork with the added laborers.
I don't have a problem. I just,
Yeah,
is that gonna prove to be hard later down the road? I don't have a
That's
problem with
gonna work.
approving the
This is
budget.
the way it
by any
is.
means, But
And then have her come back, or you or Laura all get together and figure out the price for a labor, and we just add it in after.
That would be easy to do.
Okay,
yeah.
that's not, if that's not difficult, I would go with that.
Yeah, because I would like to get it in this budget this year.
And we may even be able to get it onto the agenda for this coming Monday night.
Okay.
Maybe. Or soon anyways.
Yeah,
And
Let's
that's,
give it a
are you
shot.
okay with that, Kelly? I mean,
Yes.
Is that good? Does that work
Right,
for you?
we do have a seasonal labor in this budget.
Yeah.
And,
yeah, seasonal,
right,
but I want to get somebody
So-
full-time
Somebody
too.
full-time.
right.
And
And,
another one full-time down there, so you'd have
Okay.
2 open positions.
and just to paint the picture, if we had the cemetery person coming over in the winter and the solid waste center person coming in over in the winter,
You
and
start
then
getting
this
some help.
person coming over in the winter.
Yeah,
Well, it actually cuts down because the guys ain't on double overtime or whatever,
Right,
working, 60, 70, 80 hours a week, because you're gonna get the help.
right.
I'd give you 4,
oh, that
just about 4 people.
the
Yes. well,
recycling employee, he wasn't, to the best of my recollection was, he would be available in the winter
Right,
Right.
when she needed help.
right.
He wouldn't be coming over full-time for you.
Okay,
No,
No, that'd
he
be
wouldn't be
part-time.
full-time in the winter. He'd be just
Okay.
down when
But
they're
he'd be
closed
available.
up there. He'd be with Kelly
Yeah, like during a snowstorm.
Yeah.
Right.
something
Okay.
you're
To
short
fill
handed.
in.
to fill in, so we don't lose him up there.
okay,
To fill in, he'd be down here helping you.
okay.
Because he still has work he could do up at
Yes. Yep.
recycling.
Were there other departments that needed a full-time person? Because I feel also that if the cemetery is getting one, that person's going to be helping us, and I wouldn't want to interrupt someone else, other department that
Oh,
needed.
no, this is your year.
Okay, I just want to make sure that it was, okay,
I think it's coming to the point where we gotta move forward.
Yeah.
Start getting some
It's
of this
time.
stuff wrapped up.
It's time.
okay.
Well, if
There's
we
so
don't,
much to do.
the building's
Yeah.
gonna be turning to crap. And we're not gonna be able to get to the stuff.
Right.
Okay,
Any more discussion?
Yeah, on the
Yeah.
budget,
Yep.
okay? I just scanning over the budget
Yeah.
and the grounds work, the different accounts.
Which line you on?
Well, he can start with 449.
449.
196 has been spent, but a lot of these, was that because of the help, lack of help, or,
so for 449, are you asking why all of it wasn't spent?
you know, Well, it's
200 was spent out of
out
Couple
of,
thousand.
out of 2,000.
Right, we just had tree work for 1,600. We just had tree work down in the bay that was included in this. So you'll see
All the
that.
bills
And we
aren't
just
in yet.
had, right, we just had trash containers that we purchased.
That was just last week, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, it was.
So the expenditures aren't up to date on this, Bob, is what.
Yeah.
Oh, they
Right,
still got
that
3
money will
months
be
to go.
spent.
Yeah, and you got 2 months to go.
Mhm.
Yeah, but you're not doing too much ground maintenance work now. I mean, I don't. a lot
We
of
just
it-
had some work done in the bay and we had 2 trash cans.
I mean,
that were-
I don't mind having the money there, but I'd like to have it used.
Yeah,
But
it
You
will.
don't have help. You have a problem using it. too.
Right,
Oh,
exactly.
That was a good question. The money will be used this year.
It will.
Yes.
Yeah.
1,400 of it was spent today
Okay.
So there's, yeah.
and the
So-
tree work from last week. So
Good, okay, good.
What was the total number on that, was on this budget after?
265?
265, 487.
265, 487.
More discussion. Bob, any more lines that you? Okay. Make a motion that we approve the $265,487 for grounds and maintenance. Come back with the added laborer.
Second.
Okay, so we'll be adding that on.
They're gonna add
Yes,
that on and then
yes.
bring the final number back to us. And we'll vote on that
They're gonna-
difference.
They're
You
gonna
want
look
to vote
into it.
on that? You want to separate?
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Now we go to Parks and Rec. Wicker, we add a couple more to you. You'll have your own book.
that's true. There's a lot of paper there. So the budget here as presented is up 1.46%, and there were 2 line items that were lowered: general expense and new equipment. Everything else was level funded except for the wages.
That total budget is 125, 887.
Correct.
It's like an increase of what, $1,800?
Mm-hmm.
18.
1 point.
Yeah, or something.
And it's payroll.
Yeah.
Yeah,
18,
exactly.
Yeah.
Any
I'm-
questions?
No, go ahead.
I'll make the motion for to approve the 125,887
I'll second it.
rec department.
I'll second.
Or discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly. Nice job.
Nice job, yes, very nice job.
All right.
I think we were all actually in favor too of, I think there was this consensus that let you know that Brian's doing a real good job down there.
Oh,
Keep-
yes.
We talked about that earlier.
We did.
Just let him know he's doing an excellent
Last night.
job.
Stay up with what he's had this year. He's
Yeah.
done good.
He's done a good job.
He's done a good job.
Yes, we'll go to highway next. Everybody have time to go through this one.
Yeah, we,
Yeah.
we,
A lot of
I
questions.
didn't have an issue with it when.
well, we discussed it the other night. The figure's still at 1.4.
1.4,
1.4, okay.
1,400,000.
Yep.
2,650.
165,
165,
488 more,
488, yes.
11.76 increase.
Which I have a tough time with, but
I don't know if there's anything else
Stay up with
Scott can tell us, or anything else that you may have worked on, or.
No, I mean, I was not given any marching orders when I left the meeting, at the last meeting relative to any changes
No,
that
'cause
you
I-
wish me to make. I thought I'd put the information forward relative to, basically this is all the items and then, a little bit more.
well, like you said, a
taken
lot
out
of the
in
stuff is aging out
Yeah.
that we have.
Right.
I mean, it's aging out. It's time to straighten it out again.
But yeah, I mean, last year, I think, the highway manager reduced the budget by
Mhm.
over $80,000, if I recall the number, and that money is back in this budget. And once again, that is the equipment leases that are there for the equipment. And if in fact, as I did mention, that you could remove out, as long as, I don't like to remove it out, because if you go to a default budget, then the equipment leases won't be there. And because the only lease that will be covered will be the backhoe lease, because that's under a contract.
Well, the
And
grader and are we on a new lease with the loader?
No, those actually are off
Off lease.
lease now.
Right.
But if in fact, in this budget here, they're back on lease for that equipment that is actually
we-
listed here,
Are we trading them in or something?
you will be if in fact you go back on lease. So if you don't go on lease, then, we continue to maintain them and go forward that way.
Well, we started that program, so we didn't go through this big maintenance problem that we were having.
Right, and you actually, over an evolution of at least 1 year, you already will see, annual savings of over $10,000, just based upon the start of the turnover of
Oh,
that.
more money.
Yeah.
So
more
even though
money.
you're getting new equipment, they'll be maintained and be under warranty, you're automatically seeing that in the lease payments, you'll be seeing a reduction of over $10,000. So I think it's a win-win, and in talking to the folks there and doing these type of programs is, in the next cycle, you will continue to see those additional savings, because the values of this piece of equipment,
And we're in equipment that runs and that doesn't have to be repaired.
right?
That was the problem we were having.
You may have actually seen a little bit more if in fact it, it stayed in there and things were replaced in this cycle, because now the pieces of equipment they're another additional year older, and they have additional hours on it. So it's all based upon the hours and
Right.
which is on the equipment. So, your loader gets a lot of hours. That's
Oh,
the
yes.
highest.
So it's going all the time.
It's going all the time. It's got over 5,000 hours on it. 5 years old. It'll be crowding 6,000, as you're going into it next year. And as I was starting to say, is that if in fact a default budget hits, in this budget here, there is the tires to replace on the loader. So if a default budget hits us, then, certainly we need those tires. And they're in this actual budget. Now, granted, in a default budget, it's my responsibility then to go back in and then figure out what we're gonna pay for them. But, that will become a priority, because that is a real lead piece in what we do for our operation.
Yeah.
We may not, you end up robbing Peter to pay Paul in those situations there. But if I take it out now, I mean, it could be taken out now. Because ultimately it's gonna have to pay for it anyways.
I'd like to
next
see
year.
us releasing anyways
Yeah.
to keep the newer equipment,
So,
because that was the whole idea when we set that program up. Mr. Roberts came in front of us and we set it up that we could trade them in
right,
and stay on the newer equipment without the big maintenance bills and not have to worry about it.
Keeping stuff under warranty the whole
Yeah.
time, and
when you have
And
these
the
items,
leases get cheaper and cheaper.
what I found, and I'm sure he told you the same thing, is when you get these pieces of equipment, they're over $100,000. Generally, if you can get into these type of programs, you can see that you're basically, gonna stay ahead of the game.
Yep.
In that cycle, when you used to keep them, and then people used to try to run them 20 years. I
did the
remember the
same
first
thing.
evolution, I had a backhoe. They wanted me to keep it 20 years, 12 years, and and I was
Done.
doing brakes and everything else on it. You're better off to trade it before you end up having those high-end expenses.
Sure.
Because it costs you money. Even if you got your own in-house mechanics, that takes up all your time and your other equipment doesn't get maintained. And the idea is with having a mechanic fleet is to be able to do a lot of that preventative maintenance if you can do it. So you don't end up having those big repairs that cost you a lot of money, have a lot of downtime. So. Yeah, as much as as much as I'd like to say that the only way that you're gonna, get this budget changed is if you didn't have that in there. And lease payments built, which are in operating budgets,
Mhm.
you know.
Which I
are
think
gonna-
we need in
are gonna
there
be
because, so
As I mentioned, I went
The
back
budget-
through and looked at the budgets that Ken had drafted actually last year for 2021. And this budget here is, within a short amount of money, either side of it as to what one of his drafts was, which had the leases in it.
Yeah.
And had basically the same numbers in there. Now, there's a few things that I've upkicked, which we've talked about,
Yeah.
the roadside mowing and a few of those other things. That way, I think that, it's definitely
It'd be
well
nice
worth
to-
it.
try to catch up on a little bit of the stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
Now, we-
maintenance.
If that lease stays in there,
Yeah.
are we trading that loader in for,
yes,
we are, okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
that loader is one of those key pieces of equipment that is part of that lease. program.
When would that be traded in?
What's that?
When would that be traded in?
If it's approved at
let's see.
town meeting, then it would
Election's
happen.
March 4th,
right
so it'll be
after
March
that.
5th.
I don't have an issue with it. I think it seems like, I know it's a hit, but it seems like.
It's a hit, but
needed
we
changes.
also reduced it last year, so it's coming back.
Right. I mean,
It's coming back. And so, and again, once
Well,
again,
either-
we can't keep kicking the can.
it's either get the stuff done.
Yeah.
And put the equipment back in order that we're back on the lease program. Or we cut it and we pray that we have a loader that stays running that's ran 24/7.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? In the wintertime, that thing don't shut off.
Oh, no, it's busy.
Yeah,
Oh, summertime too.
Yeah,
Mhm. Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, I agree. I
See it all
agreed
over
with,
the place.
when Mr. Roberts brought these leases forward, I agreed because we're paying a lot of repair bills, astronomical at that time, between the grader and the loader and everything. He come up with the idea and it has solved a big issue with it.
It's the only way to go,
Yeah.
municipal leasing.
Yep, yep,
And
agreed.
All right.
I will say that, and I know there's been a lot of discussion relative to staffing and things of that nature and the work that you're doing and Laura's doing relative to looking at the minimum maximums as well.
Yeah.
Clearly, I think it is across the board for all town departments and advocate for that. I can tell you that I currently have posted a truck driver, light equipment operator position, CDLB licensed position. I've had one applicant out of that posting. It's been posted now for well over a month, if not 2 months.
And what's the hourly on that?
The hourly on that is 18.17 to start. I've had one applicant, that applicant, we've reached out to, and that applicant has said, I'm not gonna waste your time by coming down because I need at least $24 an hour based upon,
Okay.
he has a lot of training and experience and he's
Mhm.
been in public works as well, but it's, what happens is when you hire other people at higher rates,
the
it
guys that are
upsets
working.
your entire
Have to get-
pay matrix.
Everybody's gotta go up.
Yeah.
I
Right.
mean, we went through it down there before
Right.
had to bring up that minimum, which meant everybody had to go up. Because you can't hire people at more money than what some of them that have been with us make.
Great. And also in this budget is part of the, first phase of the, organizational aspects of the public works piece to this
Mhm.
Implementation plan, which is to do some restructuring and reorganization within the highway budget department itself, and also some reclassification for some positions,
Yeah.
which then would be incorporated into the minimum maximum as well. So, and I have built in some funds in here to be able to absorb that
Start doing it.
in anticipation that you may make those decisions at the tail end of 2021 and have them in place for 2022. So
Yeah.
I just wanted to, say that is another item which is within this budget as we look to move forward.
Well, thank you for being prepared, because you see it coming. Any more discussion?
No, I don't think so.
Get a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the highway department budget for 2022 at $402,650.
Second.
All those in favor?
Right,
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
good job.
Glad to see we're going back into the newer equipment. Okay. You have budget committee. Oh,
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
this one we can do a lot of cut.
How about it?
How you doing?
I'm doing good. For those that haven't met me, my name is Ruben Parker. So yeah, it's like 1,846. I guess the only change is really in the transcriber budget line. And we've actually just purchased software that'll actually capture the spoken words of the meeting. And so we're hoping that'll help us, but right now it requires somebody to actually convert that into meeting minutes.
Right.
And so our recommendation is to not
Now, you
change
use
it.
this system?
But it's a new product called Otter,
Yeah, but I'm wondering, because you have your budget committees here,
right here and downstairs.
why aren't we using this system here like we do?
I think he does record them. If he's not able to. He
Right,
records
this is a
them.
regular audio video recording, but what he's talking about is a different type of
Or for
software.
transcribing
that-
like
It
the
actually-
doctor's office?
yeah.
Takes the wording and puts it into a
Text.
typed document.
Saves a lot of time.
Yeah,
Well, it eliminates
Labor.
having to have somebody
That's
here taking minutes too.
right.
Right, but there's still work to, like, every word spoken is not minutes, right? You have to boil that down. And so right now we've got
Condense
one
it.
of our members doing that, but I don't know if that's sustainable. So definitely want to leave some money in there for that.
Yeah, I don't have a problem
No,
with this one,
Nope.
I think we're good.
being a large budget like it is.
I don't know.
Move we approve the budget committee budget at 1,846.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ruben.
Thank you.
Yo,
Nice meeting you.
we will move on to library. Hello, Holly.
Hi. How are you?
How are
Good,
you?
you?
How you doing?
Good.
I have a question for you.
Okay.
Your, you call it, not the trust fund, but
Yeah, the Agnes
the
Thompson
trust fund,
Trust
whatever it
Fund.
is.
Yes.
are we using the interest on that to pay any of this at all?
Well, what we've used of
Because I know
our,
before you were using just a little bit of the interest. We had discussed it to use not all of it, but because you always want that to climb.
right, to augment the line items as far as the the Agnes Thompson funds, that goes into our money market account.
Right.
We've used 2,384.20. And in accordance with the guidelines on the Agnes on her
Yeah.
will, she says we're allowed to use the accrued interest. And I can tell you, the yearly accrued interest to date as of August 31st, because I did not have the statements for September. The accrued interest is $1,534.08.
Okay,
We also have we have donated funds and copy.
Yeah.
We charge for copies.
Yeah, you use
So-
the
So
donated the stuff for the books and stuff though, right?
sometimes yes, we have an ongoing book sale and that goes towards books. That goes into our donated fund. So as far as augmenting these line items, we've used $6,732.58 to date. I mean, that was as of yesterday. And I know that we'll have more before the end of the year, I believe. And I'm talking about just augmenting the line items, but we do use those money market funds for other things as well that would not normally come out of the line item.
I mean, I don't have a big problem with this one.
Mhm. I also, I will remind you that if whatever you're seeing, the most recent budgeted and expenses and encumbrance sheet that I've received from Laura
September.
is September 30th.
Yeah.
But what happens with us is Laura always pays the utilities and anything like that. But if we use any book funds or a lot of the other line items, she doesn't necessarily know that yet until we invoice her. So I always come prepared with updated expenditure totals if
Right.
you'd like me to share those.
I just had one account back here, and that was would be books and materials, 135.
Books and AV, I can tell you that we have spent $6,886.12. We have a balance of $3,013.88, and I have $1,639.39 pending that I know that bill is coming forward.
Good. Okay.
And so I have no doubt that we'll be expending that full
You'll be up
amount
there.
Mhm.
by the end of the year.
And I have no problems with
No, I don't-
having that on here, as
Usually
long
run
as it's
pretty-
being used.
No, they usually run a pretty tight
Yep,
budget.
yep. Oh, yeah.
Don't see any
She's
issues.
done good
here,
over
Mr.
the
Chair.
years.
What's that for motion?
I'm all set.
Sure.
I'll make the motion to approve the library's operating budget of $146,670.
Second.
For discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much.
ladies.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
Very good.
You too.
The business deemed necessary. We are gonna go into non-pub. I make a motion, we enter a non-pub under RSA 91-A:3, 2, C.
I'll second that.
All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All in favor. We are now in non-pub.